Telling people to not grieve, to not risk for any bans, does not equal to defending the person who grieved first. You reach him ... and tell them that you're also an exploiter. Good luck on that. Let's skip to when things get crazy, 3K, and when they get our LOI toxic. Some might disagree with our statement, but we personally think ... it's better to ignore them, to not risk getting banned. The griefer can take advantage of you grieving them and get you banned. It's always best to just get proof and let them be banned. Anyways, moving on. You should. Despite it having a reason, it's still bannable behavior. Do you really think it's worth the risk to get yourself banned just for one griefer?
Then stop him from stealing.
We can't stop them from doing that already, but we can ignore that instead. And we can stop them in the future by simply reporting. First of all, calm down. This is just Dandy's world. Second, then just ignore the guy. You're not doing any more harm by just not ignoring. It's less risk for you, and if you ignore them, they'll probably just leave cause you're not giving them the anger that they want. Quite immature of you. We're just simply educating you to not get you banned. If you disagreed, you could simply state your opinion calmly and nicely.
You said if we reported, we get banned.
HM ... now, when did we say that? Cause I remember saying it's better to report than to defend yourself.
A few moments later.
I'm punching your head until your wig comes off.
And the wig is somehow more real than the facts. You guys are saying that you can't get banned for GREFING, even if you can. You're still toxic as hell. Context, made myself get hit by Twisteds on purpose, since I wanted to leave cause of how annoying this run was. Also, hit it, before you get fussy about me stating personal opinions, go fix your English and learn how to .com TF down.
Switch to relax mode. Try C2 Cool Blends in Dalandan, Peach, and new Freeze Melon.
In this video, I'll be going over the definitive old Roblox iceberg. I made this iceberg myself, and we're going to explore its entries by starting with the more familiar ones and gradually delving into the more obscure. So let's start from the tip of the iceberg. Builders Club was Roblox's first premium subscription program, in which you paid a monthly fee to get certain benefits like daily Robux or even special items. Builders Club consisted of 3 tiers depending on how much money you were willing to spend: Builders Club, Turbo Builders Club, and Outrageous Builders Club. Users were also able to purchase a 6-month or lifetime plan of Builders Club. This feature was removed on August 4th of 2015, and the Builders Club was itself removed from the Roblox platform in September of 2019, and it was replaced with Roblox Premium, which has similar tiers and pricing but different benefits. Ticks or tickets was the other official currency of Roblox alongside Robux. Ticks were added in 2007 and you could earn 15 ticks by logging in every day, and if you had Builders Club you could get even more. You were also able to get ticks by people joining your game. Tickets were worth much less than Robux and were able to be converted into Robux, which was a feature that was pretty heavily abused at times. Despite that, ticks was a great way for players who couldn't afford Robux to get items or clothes for their avatar. However, in April of 2016, ticks was removed by Roblox, and any remaining tickets were removed from players' accounts to make Robux the only currency. This update was pretty controversial and caused a huge uproar in the Roblox community, with players calling Roblox greedy, since you are now forced to spend money if you wanted to buy stuff from the catalog. Super Nostalgia Zone is a Roblox game developed by Maximum ADHD, a former Roblox intern. The game simulates 28 places from the old engines of Roblox, mainly focusing on the 2006 to 2009 era with extra bits from 2010. Super Nostalgia Zone also allows players to customize their avatars using classic shirts, classic pants, faces, classic t-shirts, and hats, which can be purchased with ticks, an in-game currency based on the former Roblox currency of the same name. 10 ticks is earned daily, similar to how it originally functioned in the Roblox website. Egg hunts, originally known as extravaganzas and egg drops, were special events in which eggs were scattered around one or multiple games, which must be found by players. Each egg was different and had a different way to earn it. Egg hunts were introduced in April of 2008 and discontinued in April of 2020. Some eggs would have become limited items, usually if they were the hardest to find, and typically sell at around 200 to 1500 Robux. 2006, 2007, 2009, and 2011 were the only years to not feature egg hunts or drops until 2021, where the egg hunt was instead replaced by the Metaverse Champions event. Online daters, or ODers, are people who go on Roblox to find online relationships with other players. ODers are a phenomenon which has persisted on Roblox for at least a decade, despite the community being generally against their behavior. Nowadays, ODers are heavily tied to the Roblox TikTok community, whereas in the past you would mainly run into them in club games, as well as those adopt and raise a baby games. Because of how Roblox works, games that were created very long ago can still be accessed and played to this day. There are still a lot of old games from as early as 2006 which you can still join today, but playing these games can sometimes make for a creepy and eerie experience as you walk around the abandoned and forgotten maps all alone. A Roblox revival is basically someone or a group of people who are hosting an unofficial Roblox website that allows you to relive the past years of Roblox from 2008 to about 2016. Most of these Roblox revivals aren't that active. Roblox revivals have clients that most of the time are old clients from Roblox directly, or a recreation of an old Roblox client in case the client cannot be found. Guests were a feature created for the intended use of letting newcomers test Roblox before making an official account, and they were first introduced in September of 2008. From 2008 to 2014, guests were able to speak by only using Super Safe Chat, and they actually weren't able to see other people's words if they were not sent using Super Safe Chat. With the complete removal of Super Safe Chat in 2014 though, they became completely unable to speak, which meant guests would now have to create an account to chat with other people. The guest feature on PC was removed in October of 2017. Many old users feel nostalgic towards how Roblox used to be back in the day, or at least around the time that they joined, and they usually dislike Roblox's newer updates and the way it's changing. However, I think most people who feel nostalgic feel that way not because Roblox changed, but because they just miss being a kid playing Roblox with their friends for hours with no worries at all. The forums were a feature that was added to Roblox in July of 2004, which allowed Roblox users to discuss and socialize with other people in a text-based format. The forums housed different subforums that each had their own purposes. Many people on the forums were known as trolls, and would often deliberately make fun of people or aggravate them for no specific reasons, while others would also occasionally start forum raids by gathering a bunch of people from a subforum and commanding them to spam hate or pointless threads in another subforum. This would usually happen when the admins were asleep. The forums were eventually closed on December of 2017, when Roblox probably figured out that they couldn't effectively moderate them anymore. Griefers were, and still are, players that want to disrupt any serious gameplay from happening in any Roblox game. Griefing shouldn't be confused with cheating or exploiting, and unlike exploiters, griefers don't actually want to win, but just want to annoy other people. I think most people have had a griefing phase at some point in their time on Roblox, but you'd find that it gets boring pretty fast. Roblox myths are basically creepypastas centered around horror-related accounts created on Roblox. They are often made by a user to tell a scary and usually paranormal story on the Roblox platform. These myths usually create their own games with puzzles, jump scares, and ambient noises added in to enhance the user experience.
Hello everybody, so today, I was doing a long run with my lover Vintage Flight, but then everyone started arguing.
Flight took the mail.
Let's speed this up, Free.
I do say if he at one.
I get that it's annoying, but I think it's best to just ignore them and just calm down. Skip cause this is getting boring, see. Extracting with my lover less than 3. Finally back to normal, dude. Exploiter Roger died. Oh well. Very totally pro distractor Rudy coming through J. Wait a minute. Very totally pro distractor Rudy coming through J. Okay then, anyways.
A few moments later.
Probably vintage Flight and Flight are siblings.
How was that assumption made? Telling people to not grieve, to not risk for any bans, does not equal to defending the person who grieved first. UH him ... and tell them that you're also an exploiter. Good luck on that. Let's skip to when things get crazy 3K and when they get RLOY toxic. Some might disagree with our statement, but we personally think it's better to ignore them to not risk getting banned. The griefer can take advantage of you grieving the net. If you ban, it's always best to just get proof and let them be banned. Anyways, moving on.
Roblox is a corporation, an entity that is trying their absolute hardest to please their shareholders. It's a public company that absolutely needs to turn a profit lest they disappear forever. But Roblox is one of the most fascinating corporations from a business standpoint, because literally their entire platform is user-generated. UGC doesn't just apply to the hats that your character can wear, but the entire platform as a whole and everything on it. Since 2006, Roblox has been growing at a rapid pace, with users flocking to the site by the literal millions to play all kinds of games. This insane growth and wealth of opportunity to spend real money on the platform has led to Roblox achieving an estimated value of almost $40 billion. Billion with a B. However, what's arguably more interesting about Roblox is the fact that they weren't always this symbol of modern-day capitalism in the games industry. In fact, Roblox began their journey as a humble learning tool designed to introduce kids to the world of video game development. Roblox Studio is free and can basically run on a toaster. The language it uses, Lua, is very simple to learn compared to other coding languages like Java, and hosting games on Roblox is completely free. And for years, Roblox had marketed themselves as powering imagination, as a platform where anyone could make anything for free. But that didn't exactly make Roblox a lot of money, and even before going public on the stock market back in 2021, Roblox needed a way to incentivize developers to stay on their platform, rather than moving to another service like Steam or itch.io. This is where the Roblox economy was born. Robux is the platform's primary currency, and it was originally used as a way for Roblox to earn a little extra cash from its users. Robux could buy basically anything from hats to, well, hats, I guess. Listen, this was like 15 years ago, so just bear with me. Now, Robux was a good start, but unless you were obsessed with collecting virtual hats on a children's building game, there wasn't really any real incentive to earn Robux. It was more of a nice luxury rather than the platform's entire identity. However, that all changed in 2013 when Roblox released a feature called the Developer Exchange, or DevX. DevX was, and still is, the single most important update Roblox ever received. It allowed developers to trade in their virtual Robux for real-life currency, and it finally gave developers a true monetary incentive to develop games on Roblox. Roblox's X factor then became the fact that you could make a multiplayer game for free on Roblox without having to set up or pay for online servers. However, with this change also came a shift in how games were made on Roblox. Developers now started to focus more on monetization rather than fun and interactive gameplay. It wasn't so bad in the beginning, with games like The Mad Murderer, while being heavily monetized, was still a fundamentally fun party game. However, it didn't take long before bad actors would swoop in and start using Roblox as a means to generate as much money as humanly possible. Enter Roblox Premium. In 2019, Roblox decided to change how their monthly subscription worked. Builders Club was Roblox's original monthly plan, which saw members being given a few Robux every day for free. Builders Club had some other benefits like being able to join more groups and being allowed to trade limited items, but other than that, Builders Club didn't really do anything else except put a badge next to your name, outing yourself to everyone around you that you paid for Roblox. But in 2019, Builders Club became Roblox Premium, and with it, a complete overhaul on how the system functioned. Several small things were changed, but it was overall the exact same as Builders Club. But the most important change by far was the creation of what are called premium payouts. Premium payouts are another form of earning Robux from games, and the way it works mirrors this engagement-first era of the internet we're currently living in. TLDR, the longer someone with a Roblox Premium account plays a game, the more premium payouts that game will make. This caused a sort of renaissance to happen on Roblox, with developers realizing that they can passively earn Robux at arguably a better rate through premium payouts compared to simple Game Pass sales. This has led to the current situation we're in now. Games like Pet Simulator 99, Souls RNG, and even Adopt Me all prioritize premium payouts over everything else. Everything in these games take an extremely long amount of time to complete, whether that's raising a pet in Adopt Me or hatching eggs in Pet Simulator. Now, obviously, if you don't want to wait, you can spend Robux, so the game is earning money off you whether or not you're playing a long time or not. This is already bad enough, not to mention the fact that Roblox really likes to push these games with super high play times to the front page more than games that don't. But would you believe me if I told you that it gets worse? Because it absolutely does. You see, at this point in the timeline, things are not great. But the good thing is that a majority of these games are still owned and run by small teams of indie developers. Despite many of these games having shady shady business practices, at least it's not a gigantic corporation doing their darndest to monopolize a children's building game, right? Right? This is GameFam. And the first thing you see on their website in proud, bold text is the phrase, unleashing the potential of metaverse gaming for brands and creators. Now, I'm sure you can already tell that something is extremely off by this wording. First of all, really? Are we still doing the metaverse thing in the Big 25? I thought this concept died a long time ago, but I guess grifters are gonna grift. GameFam is one of two examples of a corporation sliding into Roblox and colonizing it as fast as humanly possible. GameFam has a long track record of poor business practices and was the absolute laughingstock of the platform for many years. While we haven't heard much from them in some time, that doesn't mean they're completely innocent. GameFam has control over multiple massive Roblox games, including but not limited to Robeats, Military Tycoon, and most importantly, Sonic Speed Simulator, along with some absolute classic bangers like Easy Obby and Really Easy Obby. Just in case the first one wasn't easy enough. GameFam owns a lot of games on Roblox. Sonic Speed Simulator, if I'm remembering correctly, is not only an officially licensed Sega property, that's an entire other can of worms that I am not opening today, but also a massive game in its own right that gets a good deal of average visitors. They market themselves in their About Us tab as the leading metaverse media company for Gen Z and Alpha communities, which is simultaneously the most hilarious and most sickening opening line I've ever read. Essentially, how GameFam operates is they roll up to a relatively new Roblox game with a lot of potential in a small team, take advantage of that inexperience, lowball the team for an outright purchase of the game, and then they ruin it by over-monetizing it. GameFam is not a group of developers. They're a company that purchases Roblox games in order to generate massive amounts of money. Remember when Roblox was about powering imagination? GameFam goes against the very fundamentals of this website by ripping games from independent studios and adding them to their portfolio of cash cows. Not to mention the fact that none of GameFam's games are fun, except for Shadowvis RPG, which I actually enjoy. But my point is that GameFam's only goal is to make money, and they do not care about how they accomplish that task. But GameFam isn't the only corporation doing this. No. In fact, there's a company out there that's arguably more manipulative and shady than GameFam, and that's Do Big Studios. Just to show how bad Do Big is for Roblox games, let's take a look at my original video on Fish. Just before Do Big bought it for God knows how much money, Fish, when it first released, was a very fun game. It was relaxing, soothing, and fun to explore and collect fish in. But what I liked about Fish was that it didn't employ any sort of FOMO tactics, which are often used to get people to spend money on stuff they really don't need or want. However, once Do Big entered the picture, the monetization for Fish went completely off the rails and became one of the most heavily monetized and poorly optimized games on the entirety of Roblox. Just look at the shop tab. Just look at it. That is completely unacceptable and frankly just looks awful. They really did the pet simulator thing and just crammed as many game passes, boosters, and skins as they possibly could into their shop so that they could maximize the amount of money they were earning from their clientele. Or look at Blade Ball. There are full-blown gacha mechanics and battle passes in this game, and I kid you not, the only game mechanic that Blade Ball actually has is hitting a ball back and forth until someone misses. That's the entire game. I didn't even think it was possible that a game could have more kinds of monetization than game mechanics, but I guess here we are. My main point here with all this is that companies like GameFam and Do Big go against everything Roblox used to stand for. Obviously, in today's climate, we are never going to see Roblox do anything about this because neither GameFam nor Do Big are actually doing anything legally wrong, but if you ask me, they are doing something morally wrong. Roblox games are indie games created by small dev teams, with some even being created by solo developers. Who are these corporations to come in and monopolize Roblox like it's nothing more than a bunch of floating dollar signs? So I have a humble request for the up-and-coming Roblox developers who want to leave a positive legacy on this site. Don't sell your game to Do Big or GameFam or whoever. Your game is your game. Take pride in it and put everything you have into making it the best game you can possibly make. I mean, just think about it. If I sold my YouTube channel, not only would I no longer be Bedsheet Ghost, but nobody would care about any sort of projects that I would do in the future. Oh, and always remember, if a deal is too good to be true, it probably is. Take it from a guy who has seen many a scam marketed as a fake brand deal. How about starting now we go back to Roblox's goal being powering imagination and show the world just how good Roblox games can get. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace. Ever since returning to Roblox, I've been on a very special quest. A quest to find the absolute silliest Roblox game. So I created this, the Roblox Silly Scale. I've cataloged several different games since my return, each of them having been weighed on the scale, and what I found has truly shocked me. The scale works on a range from :smile to :3, with each level getting sillier and more unhinged than the last. For example, Block Tales only really reaches the upper parts of level 1, whereas fighting reaches all the way to a level 3. However, there is only one game that I've come across that has broken into the ludicrous level 4 of the silly scale. A game so wacky, so downright goofy, that I myself even began to feel its effects. An almost infectious level of silliness that has caused me to basically make this entire video. And that game is called Regretivator. Created by a dev team / cult known as the Axolotl Sun, Regretivator is a game that's actually decently hard to put into words. So instead of explaining it directly, let me do the YouTuber thing and explain the game that it's directly based off instead, the normal elevator. Created in 2015, its gameplay loop was extremely simple yet captivating. An endlessly moving elevator that stops at various floors, each with a unique, often weird scenario for the inhabitants of the elevator to experience. While some floors would just be entirely based off of, now extremely dead, memes, others would be their own completely original minigames. It was a game that was consistently on the front page of Roblox, even being featured in some events, and now is considered a classic Roblox game. Now, when I said that the memes were extremely dead, I meant it. Like, we're talking like 2016 to 2018 memes here. Like, it's pretty rough.
These kids are learning the correct timeline of memes.
Now, in my pressure video, I said that that game is near perfect execution of the Doors formula. Well, I have some good news that will surprise absolutely no one if they've been paying attention. Regretivator is the perfect version of the normal elevator. There is a staggering amount of content in this game, far more than the normal elevator ever had to provide, to the point where I've played over 100 different floors, right? And I'm still running into scenarios that I've never seen before. But you know what is something that I know for a fact you've seen before? This message to subscribe to this channel. As of writing this, we just hit 35,000 subscribers, and I need your help to keep that momentum going. These videos take a lot of time and energy to make, and because subscribing is completely free, it's a win-win situation for both me and you. So if you want to see more videos like these, hit that little button down there, and let's hit 50,000 subs before Halloween. I realized at this point that I was going to need some help if I wanted to make this video. I knew that the wackiness was far too much for one man to handle, so I decided to get answers the old-fashioned way, by getting them straight from the horse's mouth. Or fish, shark, dog thing.
Hey, what's up?
I would imagine this is very heavily based off of the normal elevator.
Surprisingly, actually, okay, this is an interesting story. Yes and no. Actually, originally, this was just a hangout game. You know those like hangout games where it's like Vibe Airplane? It was just that, except it was an elevator. There were no floors, you didn't go anywhere, you sat in an elevator and you listened to Bossa Nova. It was fun, I liked it, but a lot of people, man, people were not feeling it. And so people, when they were looking at games I was making, they were expecting a game. So when it was like a hangout, and you know, with the connotation of, oh, it's an elevator game, people thought the game was broken or bugged because it just like,
oh, because it didn't go anywhere.
Never opened. Yeah, exactly.
To cover every single floor in this game would make this video far longer than it already is, so I'm just going to highlight some of my favorites. Splitsville is a pretty fun obby based off of Wipeout. The Red Ball Temple is actually pretty difficult. The Roblox Raceway only looks like it's poorly scripted. The Minefield is funny, albeit very annoying. The Slap Battles Rip is funnier and far less annoying. The Party House where a meteor shower happens is completely ridiculous, and this boss fight is very cool. Inside of the actual elevator itself, there's a shop where you can buy different gear. Also, before I forget, I don't know what it is with this game's insane addiction with the sad red ball, but I absolutely love it. It's literally everywhere in this game.
I have a knuckle sandwich with your name on it.
There is a staggering amount of sad red ball.
No, a ton. It was so messed up. What's the word? Okay. Fun flooded squishies. That is another floor. Originally, that wasn't like a green ball thing. Originally, that was red ball. But we were starting to get so many like red ball themed things that we're like, okay, we have to change up this build a little bit, but we can't just scrap it, right? So let's make it a green ball instead.
On top of sad red ball, you can buy a butterfly knife to trick people around you into thinking you're playing CS. There's the aforementioned spray bottle that you can use to torture NPCs in the elevator. There's yellow. Yellow. Yellow? Yellow. Yellow?
Yellow.
Yellow.
Yellow. Yellow.
Yeah, and there's plenty of healing items for when you take damage. But there's something extremely interesting about Regretivator that I want to bring up before we go deeper into the rest of this game. In both the normal elevator and Regretivator, characters would often join players inside of the elevator and go for a little ride. Now, in that game, these characters would just kind of sit there and not do anything. That didn't mean they weren't beloved, as who could possibly forget the icy yet confident composure of the Big Cheese, but they really just didn't do much at all. For me personally, I always thought that this was a huge missed opportunity. What makes characters interesting is, well, their character. And while you can put as many silly guys in your game as you want, a lack of dialogue or events or emotions make them as a whole a lot more bland. Regretivator solves this issue by doing just that, adding character to these characters. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that Regretivator is carried as much by its cast as it is by the gameplay. But there's a distinct choice that the developers of this game made that I think makes it one of the most complex games on Roblox. There are interactions between characters, and not just like one or two rare moments between characters, but every character that can enter the elevator.
The Regretivator would not at all be the same game it is without the characters. I think that's a great thing to have. The only thing about the NPCs and like the characters is the writing is crazy. There's so much.
Yeah, I think literally what did it for me is the first or second time I played the game, I went and looked at the credits, and I saw there were literally 6 writers. And I was like, wait, this game has 6 writers? Why does this game have 6 writers? And then the more I played it, the more I was like, it needs 6 writers.
Yeah, no, it's a lot, and we're bringing on more writers.
I bet, yeah.
I mentioned this in my video about the evolution of Roblox's art style, how by doing the math, we come to the conclusion that there are over 210 unique interactions between these characters alone. That's an insane amount of effort for a silly little Roblox game, and hopefully it's starting to make a bit more sense why they need 6 writers on their team. But here's the thing about that little nugget of information. I lied. There aren't 210 unique interactions between characters in Regretivator. The reason for that is, as told to me by the lead developer, Yuke, they try to hit a quota of at least 3 to 5 unique interactions with every character for every character. So instead of there being roughly 210 unique interactions between these characters, there are actually closer to 630. And that's on the low end, because 3 to 5 implies that there are some characters with more than 3 unique interactions with certain other characters. What's insane is that the thing about these interactions is that they aren't substanceless either. Regretivator actually has a lot of lore hidden within its extremely unserious presentation, and a lot of these dialogue lines add to that lore, some of which are actually quite intriguing to read, like this interaction between Folly and Party Noob that I captured on footage. But guess what? I lied again. Those interactions aren't the only interactions these characters have in Regretivator. There are also unique interactions with you, the player. This can be achieved in a multitude of different ways. One of my personal favorites is to spray them with water, causing them to get pissed off and yell at you. There's also a bouquet of roses that you can buy to shower them with praise and glory, netting you a different reaction. Nearly every character that can enter the elevator has this feature, and some of them actually have quite a lot of unique quips that they can say, which means there's actually closer to around 750 unique interactions throughout the entire game.
I was like thinking to myself, people talk on elevators. That's like something people do. I remember playing the normal elevator and they just like say quips to themselves like awkwardly. And I was like, why don't you talk to someone else on the elevator? No hate to the normal elevator. Again, I would like to state this because normal elevator is awesome. And the creator of the normal elevator, also known as Now Do the Harlem Shake, they actually, when Regretivator was first like out and like growing as a game, it had like 15 players. Now Do the Harlem Shake played the game.
Really?
And had like checked it out. Yeah. I remember my friend was like, dude, Now Do the Harlem Shake is playing Regretivator. And I was like, no, you're joking, right?
And before we go any further into this game, I want to go over all of the main characters that can enter the elevator. So without further ado, here is Regretivator NPC rapid fire explanation time, go! Bive is a fake-ass detective/conspiracy theorist who is constantly obsessing on the weird and wacky actions of the elevator, cooks food with mold, and hates country music. Dr. Retro is a Pac-Man adjacent cat emoji thing who is one of the few elevator NPCs that can actually kill the player, despite being apparently a doctor who lost her medical license. Folly is a freaky-ass nightmare demon thing who likes to doom scroll r/atheism and post about climate change. No, sorry, okay, I made that part up.
Lady, supersized
But she is pretty evil. Despite being called Folly in the game, she doesn't actually have a name, appearing as a sort of dark omen in people's dreams. Several characters actually claim that they've seen Folly in their own dreams. Fish.
an demonic freak.
Flesh Cousin, arguably one of the most creepy characters in the entire game, is a creature about as sentient as a bird or fish, barely being able to communicate, and even then only in garbled, weird non-English. Narpy, the fan-favorite alien cat with a freaking sweet design who is totally evil. Narpy likes to listen to death metal and watch Netflix when he's not out causing mischief. He also eats uranium, which is extremely based and narp-pilled. Oh, I wrote that in the script. Infected, aka Casper, looks like a regular Robloxian until you look at his face a little too closely. A wicked sick skater who likes 2000s culture and talks like he's trapped in a Newgrounds thread from 2006. He's also been infected with some kind of contagious virus, so you probably should not get too close. Germbo is an omnipresent being that exists in every single universe in Regretivator. He just kind of sits there. Lampert is a being from SCP-3008, aka the Infinite IKEA, or Rokia. Somehow he finds his way into the elevator and complains about germs. Lampert was apparently friends with Casper before he became infected, and if you plug his tail into a wall outlet, he lights up. He also likes meatballs. Mannequin_Mark is a mannequin made out of wood who also happens to be a talented construction worker. He's southern, likes cheddar jack cheese, and is a fan of Weird Al. Moselle is a very classy, upstanding citizen who makes a funny boing noise when she's talking. She likes one of two genres of music, screamo black metal and classical music. Also, because her father is literally Satan, she is the princess of hell. MR is a terrifying entity that is arguably one of the most dangerous in all of Regretivator. MR has killed before and will kill again. Described as quote-unquote not alive, yet being confronted often by Folly, who alludes to his more sinister origins. Apparently, MR was not always a weird rock face man. Party Noob is a noob who likes to party. Canonically, his name is Poob, which is honestly such a Giga Chad move that I'm almost at a loss for words. Almost. Poob has witnessed a cult sacrifice, yet didn't do anything about it. Doesn't know how to play Uno, and has someone out there who's actively trying to murder him. Pest's name is potentially a double entendre for party guest, but he looks a lot more evil than Poob. And actually, he hates Poob. Despite Poob's best attempts to befriend him, being part beetle means that Pest can lift objects 1,141 times his own body weight. Pilby's real name is Pilbert. They used to be a clown, but got fired. How do you even get fired from being a clown? Pilby can eat exactly one Whopper before passing out. Prototype is a goofy robot who doesn't even know what he's made for. Dummy, idiot, stupid. I am very upset. Reddy is a FNAF reference, specifically being an animatronic in Reddy's Red Ball Diner. We love FNAF. We love FNAF. we love FNAF. Skag is a sentient computer who lives on a trolley that's super glued to the floor. And yes, she can run Doom. Split is a bizarre looking combination of a banana, a snail, and a dog. Apparently. She's friends with Poob and likes bananas on pizza. She's also a writer on Splitsville, the aforementioned Wipeout-like game show that also doubles as a unique floor in the game. Also, when researching these characters, I found this amazing line. Split can sing Banana Phone perfectly from memory. If Split had a phone, her ringtone would be Banana Phone. Amazing. Spud is actually named Frank and used to be a camp counselor. Used to be. That was until Narpy kidnapped everyone on his camp, leaving him the only one presumably alive after torturing him for 2 days straight. Now with severe brain damage, Spud is no longer a human, described as once Robloxian, now Spud. Unpleasant. Ugh. Ew. What the heck is that? Ew, it's so weird looking. Why? Despite being found inside of Casper's apartment, Unpleasant doesn't actually have any affiliation with the infection that caused Casper to become infected. Finally, there's Walter, a rather tall fellow who looks somewhat like the 2004 version of Roblox characters that are debatably real. Walter used to be married to Mannequin_Mark, but they had a rough divorce. Other than that, he really just thinks Poob is dumb and likes Radiohead. Okay, where was I? Sorry, I got a little carried away. Oh yeah, the actual game. Hopefully from that little escapade you can begin to understand why I like this game so much. Not to mention the fact that there's, you know, like a whole video game underneath all of this lore.
Actually, that's a huge thing with game devs, and this is something a lot of amateur game devs don't realize. It's scope creep. And scope creep is the phenomenon when you, like, for example, let's say I'm making a game about hide and seek. One player's the tagger and the rest of the players hide. Scope creep starts to come in when you say, okay, let's add different game modes, and then let's add different player abilities, and let's add different seeker abilities. It becomes so much work, and it like becomes a huge project. And by the time you get there and you have all that stuff written down, you think to yourself, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, people will burn themselves out in the planning phase of game development because it's a lot.
That's all the characters for now. Not like the developers are working on a brand new one while I'm writing this video. Alright, what else is there? Oh, right, the soundtrack. Yeah, Regretivator is yet another modern Roblox game with a completely unique soundtrack, this time with over 60 songs in it. Some highlights for me are definitely Jersey Nova, one of the coolest fusions of genres I've heard in a video game, somehow combining old Roblox sound effects with the SpongeBob boot sample. But good, somehow. Long Way to the Top is a trippy liminal track that reminds me of something out of Silent Hill in a way, but because this is Regretivator, it has to have a little bit of breakcore in it. And Left on Hold provides a fitting atmosphere to the room it's found in, leading you on to find out more about this strange and bizarre world. This soundtrack does exactly what all other good soundtracks have done in the past, and that's to provide an amazing atmosphere to a game that is more often than not so incredibly silly. There's so much more to this game, it's insane. Like, it's a fully voice-acted game too. Did I mention that yet? What is this, dude?
Hey yo, I'm the owner of this silly emporium, Gregoria, and I would like to welcome you. This building has been here for over 400 years without
about them. But then also a lot of people say, oh yeah, they're like for kids, they have these like bad microtransactions. So like, you know, out of all the Roblox game types out there, simulators definitely seem to be the ones with a bit more controversy than usual. And so in this video, I thought that as a game developer, as someone who has worked for similar types of games, I thought I would kind of share like how this stuff exactly works. And of course, you know, quick disclaimer, not every game is like this, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. But there are a lot of these tricks and kind of things that simulators hide from players to effectively upkeep engagement, right? And also to upkeep monetization too. So right before I get into that, I did do a bit of setup for this video. You know, first time ever. First time I actually did some work off camera. So I have 4 different types of pets. Let's just assume we're using the simulator pet example, right? We have the common pet. We have this epic pet, which looks like this, pretty cool, right? We have this rare pet, which is just a green thing, right? And then we have the legendary pet, which probably should have been yellow now that I think about it, but it's fine, right? Now, I've made a script, which you can just read over this if you want, you know, if you want to replicate this, but effectively, whenever I play the game, my camera just automatically goes to a pet, right? And so that's it. I can't move the camera, I can't walk around or anything like that. And this effectively gives us a really nice template that, like, we could pretend that this is, let's say, a pet unlock screen. Like, let's say we buy some sort of thing, some sort of crate or some sort of egg or, you know, whatever to use. And then here we can actually see what pet we get. Now, I have not scripted the rarity yet because that's something that I actually want to show you how it's made so that, you know, you get like a better understanding of then, like, when I show you how games manipulate that to their advantage. But I'm not going to make this like a long, gruesome process. I'll make this quick, right? So we're going to make a function, which I will call roll pet, like so. And this will ask for a chance, and this chance will be an actual number, right? Now, just for this, let's assume chance will be 100, right? So like this. How do we set up a rarity system that's going to give us one of these pets, you know, common, epic, rare, or legendary? I keep mixing the two, epic and rare. It's common, then rare, then epic, then legendary. I keep saying epic, then rare. Of course, I have to mention that because that's obviously a very important thing to talk about. But the way that this is going to work is we have to detect the rarest chance first, and then the less rarer chances second. So we can't just say like, oh yeah, you know, if chance is more than 50, then give them common, else give them epic. Like, we can't do that. We have to check for legendaries first, then epic, then rare, then common. Now, there might be some other method of doing this, but every game that I've worked on, every game that I've made myself, does it this way. So here's what we're going to do, right? We're going to create
What is up, you guys? We're gonna be playing Dandy's World for the first time. Actually, guys, I'm a starter. I joined yesterday. Just ignore my trinkets. I joined yesterday, guys. Okay, that's obviously cap because I have other videos. Basically, today we're going to be this is a very funny prank that I've been doing lately. I've been pretending to be Poppy, going up to people and being like I went up to a Shelly and was like, wow, a shell. Hey, I started yesterday and I have 2 tunes. I think my other one is bad though, so I'm gonna stick with this Bubble Girl / Poppy. And then I say, I think my other tune is bad. And then I turn into Bassy and I call her Boosie. I have her not skinned because why would I have a skin on her? And I'm gonna be saying to people, I'm new and I just joined. I did this and people thought that I was a famous YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber, but I'm not famous. So we're gonna be trying this. My friend will be joining us. I think he's this fat one.
Hi, my little rats. Today, I'll be playing with these iPad kids. Before we start, can you please like and subscribe? I'm working hard to post daily for you guys. Let's not waste any more time. On with the video.
I do not like playing as Toodles.
Nora is so Toodles.
Tee-hee, thank you.
That isn't a compliment, girl.
Let me grab some popcorn real quick.
Share some that then.
Yeah, share.
Okay, I will.
I wanted that machine, but whatever.
What is it?
Anyway. Wait, no, I'm out of stamina. Someone help me. Oh my gosh, thank you, crusty rat.
Don't even mention it.
Did you just try to take
No.
mine?
That was too slow.
For real.
I agree. Nora, watch out. Oh my gosh, I almost got hit.
Oh dang.
Watch out, Tixel.
Indie animation. Indie animation is changing everything. Right? Well, not really. If you've been living under a rock, you might have missed the recent surge in indie animation, with creators and media alike all rushing to call it the next big era of animation. Yes, they've gotten hundreds of millions of views and crowdfunded millions
Lala to wala with Medical Advance 400.
This video was brought to you by Squarespace. We went from this to this, and I want to know why. From restaurants to houses and technology, you might have noticed that a lot of modern stuff looks kind of bland. Look at this McDonald's restaurant today versus 2009. Something changed and people have started to notice. Like, decades used to have a look. When you think of the 80s, you probably see something like this, and this for the 2000s. But what do things look like today? And why is it so much harder to picture? Well, grab some snacks because things took more than a few unexpected turns. And I had to ask some questions I never anticipated. When did this start? What happens to things like mascots? And are 2010's millennials to blame? Kind of, but not in the way you'd think.
There is currently a Grow a Garden free candy blossom scam going around that is hacking people's accounts. I'm not even gonna over exaggerate it, bro. That is genuinely what is happening. People are getting their accounts hacked because of a Grow a Garden scam that is going on right now, which promises to give you free candy blossom. My only request to you watching this video is to please watch this video all the way to the end, leave a like and comment something in the comments down below, just so we can get this video out to as many people who play Grow a Garden as possible. Because this scam is genuinely taking over people's accounts and people are losing their accounts because of this. So please watch this video all the way to the end. Okay, enough. What am I doing? What am I talking about? What is going on? Let me go ahead and explain every single thing to you right now. First things first, what is Candy Blossom? I think everyone of us knows what Candy Blossom is. This is an unobtainable item in the game currently. You cannot get Candy Blossom seed. I just want to make that clear before we even get into this video. If we go over to the official wiki right now, as you guys can see, the Candy Blossom seed could be purchased for 1,000,000 shekels from the Easter shop with a 4% chance of restocking, blah 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 blah. The important part is the Candy Blossom seed is unobtainable. Guys, you cannot get this anymore. If we go over to YouTube and actually search up how to get Candy Blossom, there is a lot of YouTubers showing you guys how to get the Candy Blossom seed like this video. Guys, it is not possible unless you are hacking or something like that. But guys, getting the Candy Blossom seed is not possible. So please don't believe any of these videos because they genuinely are not true. But honestly, I don't have a problem with these issues. These videos aren't really causing harm. They're just there. They just exist. And sure, they're clickbait, but usually they aren't like harming anyone. But this scam that I'm going to be telling you guys about is literally stealing people's accounts or even sometimes getting their accounts IP banned, meaning your account is wiped off of Roblox and you can never make an account on Roblox ever again. Yeah, that's how bad this actually is. So guys, this scam is actually happening on Roblox, not something like Discord where, you know, there's not proper moderation or something for this sort of stuff. No, this is happening on Roblox right now, and it's happening in none other than the Grow a Garden community group. This is the official group made by the game developers, and as you guys can see, it has 2 million members. But guys, if we go ahead and scroll all the way down just like this, as you guys can see, check this out. There is so many of these scammers, such as this guy, Grow a Garden Secret Dev. Yeah, sure buddy, you're a secret dev for Grow a Garden. This account is clearly an alt account. It has 3 followers, 1 following, no friends, and yeah, it's literally just a bacon hair. This has been created solely for the purpose of scamming people. In fact, it was created just a few days ago, and the game it is linking is gonna be this one right over here. Now, if you're gonna join this game, be very careful. Please do not enter any details into it. But we're gonna be joining this game today, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what this game actually does. Once again, please do not join this game under any circumstances, and even if you join this game, be very careful with whatever you interact with because you could get banned in many different ways. Alright, once you guys join the game, this is what you are greeted with. A very clear scam. I mean, if you're over the age of 12, you're gonna know that this is a scam, right? In the bottom right, we have these little messages just telling us, ooh, global message. This guy just claimed a pea raccoon. What the hell is a pea raccoon, bro? But you know what? Let's go ahead and claim a Candy Blossom. Okay, I want a Candy Blossom. Do you want this item for free? Limited time only. Yes, I'd like this item for free. And oh, interesting. It has my username right there. This is actually my Roblox username, C Serial, as you guys can see, and it's asking for my password. And guys, you can enter anything here. Like, I mean anything here, and it is always gonna tell you that the password is wrong. That is because even if you enter your real password, yeah, look at that. Even if you enter your real password, which of course I didn't, it is still gonna come up with this message saying that you did not enter your real password. Now look, this sort of stuff happens all the time on Roblox. Every single time a game becomes popular, there is always scam games that pop up about it. But the worst part about this entire scam is, guys, this is happening under the developers' noses. Literally, this is the official game group. As you guys can see, I have the tester rank. This has 2 million players, and all you have to do is scroll down just a little bit and you're gonna find hundreds, if not thousands of these people scamming you. Look at this, Grow a Garden developer. No, you're not, bro. Free Grow a Garden, free raccoon, dragonfly, free Candy Blossom seed, free red fox. Once again, the game has the same premise. If you go ahead and join it, it's gonna be the same thing. Bro, they didn't even bother adding a thumbnail for this one. That is how lazy these scammers actually are. This game only has 28 visits, so it's not as bad as something as this, which got 500 visits, guys. 500 people actually played this game, and most of them probably got scammed because they are children. As you guys can see, a few of them even favorited the game, maybe to come back later to check if they got free stuff. This is really bad. So what is the solution to all of this? A very, very simple solution, actually. All they have to do is turn off the public messages in the group. Bro, it is not that hard. All they have to do is turn off this, just posting on the wall. They don't need to do this. So many scams. And yeah, anyone can post on this, and all they need to do is turn this off. They need to turn off the group wall, and none of these scammers are gonna have a platform to promote their stupid little scams here. Click on the blue dot and subscribe for a free gift. Okay, let's see what this is about. So this guy seems to be promoting his YouTube channel here, and this guy has a YouTube channel linked right over here. So if we go ahead and check this YouTuber out, this guy hasn't even posted a single Grow a Garden YouTube video, so I don't even know why he's trying to do this. But yeah, somehow he gained 1,000 subscribers out of this probably, so good on him, I guess. But guys, please, please, please stay away from any of these scams. They are not real. Once again, just to make it very, very clear, it is not possible to get the candy blossom seed in Grow a Garden unless you are hacking. And it is honestly very, very disappointing to see the developers do nothing about the scam that is going on right in their own group wall. So please watch this video all the way to the end. Please share this video. Please like this video. Please subscribe if you want to, of course. And let's try and get as much attention as we possibly can towards this scam, because a lot of kids have probably already lost their accounts because of this. So you might be wondering what happens after the account is stolen. What actually goes on after the account is stolen? Well, there is two things that usually happen. Number one, the account is sold off to someone else. Usually on sites like eBay and stuff, guys, your account is sold off, especially if it's an older account or if you have Robux and stuff on your account. They will literally just sell your account. But let's say you don't have Robux, let's say you don't have anything good. What they're gonna do is get all of these stuff, all of the stuff you have in Grow a Garden. Let's say you have Candy Blossom or something. And basically, guys, they're just gonna go to the Discord server and they are gonna trade the Candy Blossom with other people. So check this out, guys. They are literally just gonna go to the Grow a Garden Discord server and trade with other people and give them your Candy Blossom. So yeah, this scam has so many layers, and it's honestly impossible for Roblox to do anything after your account has been hacked, because 9 times out of 10, they steal everything that's on your account and they sell the account off to someone else. So guys, please be careful with all of these. There's also people promoting hacks and dupe scripts on YouTube right now, and honestly guys, 9 times out of 10, these are gonna give you some pretty serious viruses on your computer. So please, please, please be careful with this. And honestly guys, if anyone is promising you something for free, usually 9 times out of 10, you are the product. So if anyone is gonna promise you a dupe script for free, that's gonna give you free Candy Blossom, free Moon Blossom, 9 times out of 10, guys, they are gonna install something on your computer that is gonna make them money. They're gonna be able to spy on you using the hacks that they gave to you, because once again, you are the product. So think about it, is it really worth it to, completely destroy your own privacy for the sake of having a Candy Blossom, a silly little Candy Blossom in a garden game? I really think that's not worth it, guys, so please be careful. But yeah, this is everything I have for this video. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments down below. Have you ever had a similar experience with hackers? Please again, let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Lipat na sa tamang timplang mas pinasarap. New Great Taste White.
Guys, I don't know if you guys were just in the game earlier.
The Bright Eyes Witch's Brew hat is one of only 4 items on Roblox that make sounds. If you go into a game and anyone is wearing this hat, you'll hear witches laughing, and there's all different kind of sounds you can hear around them. And it is literally one of the most annoying items in the entire game. But that's what makes this thing so great. Just imagine going into a game and wearing all 4 of these hats. Literally everybody in that entire game will hate you. But the Bright Eyes Witch's Brew came out all the way back in 2015. And back then, every year for Halloween, Roblox used to have an event called Blockstober. And this event usually would have a bunch of different games that were part of it, where you can go trick-or-treating. Maybe there were some zombies you had to fight and different things like that. But it wasn't the games that made this event so good. It was actually the prizes that you could buy for Robux. Every year they released 13 different gifts that ranged in price, the first one being extremely cheap at around 50 Robux, and the most expensive one being 31,000. So obviously the one for 50 Robux usually wasn't going to be that good, and most of the time it was something whack like this knit bat hat that was 50 Robux in 2015. But if you ended up buying the one for 31,000 Robux, you were basically guaranteed to get a really amazing item. That meant items like the Dominus Messer, the Dominus Vespertilio, the Dominus Praefectus, and a ton of other really cool items that came out of this gift. But the craziest part was you actually had no idea what you were getting. So you would spend up to 31,000 Robux on these gifts and you didn't know what was going to come out of it. The only hint you had was in the description that gave you a little bit about what the item might be. For example, this gift called the Gift of the Dominator, it was just an orange bag with spiders on it, and the description said, this gift contains one of 3 things: a Dominus, a Domino Crown, or a bunch of icky spiders. So it kind of hinted towards what it was going to be, but you didn't really know. You just had to spend the 31,000 and figure it out. And then usually around a week later, the present would open up, and this particular one opened up to give you the Dominus Messer, now one of the most expensive items on Roblox. But in 2015, they released this item called the Joyless Gift of the Saddest Eyes. You can see it looks like a gray version of a rainbow, and in the description it said, try to remember the magic that we shared. So it didn't really give you such a good idea of what it was going to be. It just costed you 700 Robux, and you had to open it to really figure out what it was. And then once it opened up, it actually ended up being the Bright Eyes Witch's Brew hat, which again now is one of only 4 sound items on Roblox, and probably is the most annoying out of the 4. And out of the 4, it is also the only one that actually isn't limited, which is why it was really weird that during 2024, Roblox actually featured this in a section of the Innovation Awards, which is their award show that honors all of the best games, clothing creators, UGC creators, video stars, and essentially just all the best people on Roblox. And they had a section for it called Gimme That Limited, and for some reason they decided to feature this item, the Bright Eyes Witch's Brew, even though it isn't actually limited.
Hey, gimme that limited. When equipped, what randomly makes this sound? Witch's Brew hat. Double toilet trouble, that is correct.
But that event was now 8 months ago, so it doesn't seem like the Bright Eyes Witch's Brew is going limited anytime soon. Honestly, I really wish it would go limited. Like I said, it's the only sound item that isn't limited, and I know it would literally be worth hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Robux if it were to go limited. At this point, it probably is somewhat rare since a lot of the people who got it originally probably don't play anymore, and it would automatically be super popular since it is just one of 4. I'm still hopeful that maybe one year for Halloween they eventually decide to make it go limited, or just randomly at some time hopefully it goes limited. I'm not too picky. But there was another thing that happened with this item very recently. Somehow someone actually managed to get in their inventory despite it coming out 10 years ago. As you can see, this person obtained it on April 29th, 2025, so just a few days ago, even though this item is about 10 years old now. They also got the Sparkle Time Classic Pumpkin at the same time, and if you guys remember, the same exact thing happened when Roblox was doing the Black Friday sale. A lot of the items that were coming out for that sale, like the Work Clock headphones, the bigger head, the Tix Bling, and the rest of the items all ended up showing up in different people's inventories. And that's how we were able to get early leaks of the items that were coming out for that sale. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the same case with this item. I believe for this item, back in the day, you used to be able to remove it from your inventory, and there's a high chance that this person removed it from their inventory and then recently hit up Roblox support
to actually get it back on their account. So no, unfortunately, I don't think that it's going to be coming out. I don't think it's going to be part of an upcoming sale or anything like that. But I think I speak for everybody when I say that everybody wants this item back. Personally, I prefer if they just made it go limited rather than actually bringing it back. That way the original owners can make a lot of Robux from it and they don't just get scammed out of their old item. Let me know what you guys think of the Bright Eyes Witch's Brew hat. Do you guys rock with it? Do you think it's annoying? Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. Peace.
Dandy's World's Easter event has almost finished, and a lot of people have mixed feelings about this event. There were many upsides and downsides to this event, so today I'll be going over everything about this event, from the good to the bad. If you would like to support me, please consider subscribing and joining the Discord server, link in the description. Enough about that, but now let's get into what made the Easter event so controversial. When the update was released, we got introduced to 4 new toons: Bassie, Coco, Eggson, and Flight. Bassie was the main for this event, similar to how Bobette was for the Christmas event. Bassie's stats consist of a 1-star skill check, 5-star movement speed, 4-star stamina, 4-star stealth, and 2-star extracting speed. Just like every other main, she has 2 abilities. Her first one, Springful Sharing, allows her to pick up and drop items at any time, while her second ability lets her carry more with an extra inventory slot, making her part of the survivalist and support toons by carrying heals or other useful items and giving them to players when needed. Next up, we have Coco. Coco is themed around Chocolate Bunny, having a 3-star skill check, 4-star movement speed, 2-star stamina, 4-star stealth, and a 2-star extraction speed, making her yet another support and survivalist toon. Her ability, Bon Bon, will allow her to place down a bonbon candy that anyone can take, giving them a 50% extraction speed increase and 25% movement speed increase. Eggson is mainly the starter-esque toon for the update, having a 3-star on every asset. His ability, Fixer Upper, will allow him to hit a machine with his cane, giving 10% completion, making him a decent extractor. Lastly, we have Flutter's brother, Flight. Flight has a 2-star skill check, 4-star movement speed, 2-star stamina, 3-star stealth, and 4-star extracting speed. His Gust ability puts out a gust of wind for 10 seconds, giving all toons that walk into a 10% speed boost for 5 seconds, making him an extractor and support toon. Like the Christmas event, the Easter event has its own form of currency outside of Ichor, with that being baskets. When loading into a game, there are 3 different ways to get baskets. First, there are 2 basket spawns on every